As a guest on the Full Send podcast, Ice Cube was asked why Chris Tucker didn't return for next Friday. During the interview, Cube revealed the reason why Tucker declined to appear in the sequel and said it was due to religious reasons. Now, as much as everyone loved the character Smokey, Ice Cube said he's glad he wasn't in next Friday because he thinks Mike Epps is funnier than Chris Tucker as a pure comic. Today we have our comedy hype analysts Danielle Miller, Capone, and Pierre calling in to give their thoughts and reactions. But first, let's take a look at this clip.
I'm sure you've talked about this. I just don't know. I'm curious. But was Chris Tucker not talked about being in next Friday? Because I know it was Mike Epps, but
we wanted him. You know, he turned it down.
Really?
Yeah, he turned it down. Yeah, we wanted to pay him $12 million to do that movie. He said it was for religious reasons. He didn't want to cuss and he didn't want to smoke weed on camera. I mean, but I'm glad he didn't do it because we wouldn't have Mike.
Yeah.
You know, Mike, to me is funnier, just as a pure comic.
Now, Pierre, it seems like this went under the radar because this was actually an older interview and I haven't seen any, too many outlets talking about it. So let me come to you first. After seeing this clip, what's your reaction to hearing Ice Cube say he thinks that Mike Epps is funnier than Chris Tucker?
Well, when somebody turns down your franchise, then you pick someone else, then of course the other person is going to be the person you like more, it seems like. Let's be real. Chris Tucker made that role iconic. I mean, Friday wouldn't have been Friday without Chris Tucker. Let's just be honest with it. It'd been a cool little movie. It'd have been How to Be a Player too. Okay, just a joke. But let's be honest. Yeah, Chris did what he did with it, and got it to be able to be seen, more and more times. Became such a huge franchise that they made a whole bunch of parts. Mike Epps, when he stepped into it, he had big shoes to fill. A lot of people were trying to say, hey, what you gonna do with this Chris Tucker part? And I think he nailed it in the way he wanted to nail it. I auditioned for it. I got down to the final cut, of it, and Mike got past me. And I look at the role. When I saw the role, I said, hey, Mike deserved it. I wasn't mad about me not getting in. I said, hey, Mike deserved that role. He did a hell of a job. But if you're gonna put both of them performances on, against each other, you got to give it you got to give Chris Tucker the push because.
Hold on, wait, don't, hold on. Hold that thought. Pierre, you always jumping ahead. I want to know that, but let me go around the room first. It's all right. You don't have your scarf on today, so you just jumping in. Capone, let me come to you. Pierre trying to jump ahead. Capone, I don't know. He ain't got a scarf on. I guess he just acting up. But let me get your reaction. As I mentioned, this is actually an older interview. So to hear from Ice Cube saying that he thinks Chris Tucker is funnier. What are your thoughts? Mike Epps is funnier than Chris Tucker. What are your thoughts?
I got a lot of respect for Ice Cube, and that's his opinion. I can't say that his opinion is wrong or right, but I know that there was some frustration seemed to be when he answered, for the simple fact that you build the franchise around somebody, and like Pierre said, Chris Tucker, if it wasn't for him, that movie would not be the movie that it is. And, for whatever reason, Chris Tucker didn't decide to go with the $12 million. Kudos to him because, a lot of people would look at him as being crazy and all that, but you have your reasons.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I think you said that perfect. Danielle, let me bring you in. Hearing from Ice Cube saying that, he thinks that Mike Epps is funnier than Chris Tucker. What are your thoughts here?
I have to say, I love Ice Cube. I respect him and everything that he does. I love Mike Epps. I love Chris Tucker. But I think Ice is in my personal opinion, he's wildin'. The role of Smokey was iconic. It was, we all remember Friday. The first thing when we think about Friday is Smokey. We quote lines from Smokey. So, and when it comes to pure comedy, I'm sorry, but to me, Chris Tucker has it. I still remember Chris Tucker's Michael Jackson pimp joke, even his latest stand-up comedy special that he did, it was funny. I laughed. So I think Ice is a little bit upset about Chris turning down that role, and that's what's fueling this response. That's my opinion.
Yeah, now you pretty much already gave your answer to it. So Pierre, I'm going to come to you because you were the one that initially jumped the gun. Let me ask, so when we're talking about the Friday franchise, right, as I think everybody has mentioned, you can't take anything away from both characters. So I was a little surprised to hear Ice Cube, say this. But let me ask, and I think you're already leading into it. When it comes to, the Friday franchise, between the role that Chris Tucker played and Mike Epps, which role do you think is more iconic, or which one would you choose, between the two? What are your thoughts there?
Well, let me say this too about what Mike Epps did. You have to give him props for doing what he did to make it continue. We got another Friday after that. And to say a pure comic, I understand what Ice Cube is saying. It kind of reminds me of Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy. Richard Pryor being Mike Epps, Eddie Murphy being Chris Tucker. Mike Epps and Eddie and Richard Pryor are funny all the time. They bring it into a certain situation. They can be at your barbecue and be funny. They can be, you can interview them and they're funny. Chris Tucker does it. Chris Tucker performs funny. When he performs, when he's not doing on camera doing it, he's a different person. He's not that kind of person. You know what I'm saying? He's a little more subdued. So his comedy comes when it's needed to be put on stage. Mike Epps is funny 24/7. If you hang around Mike Epps, you'll see what it is. So I think he might be leading to that more, to say, hey, he's just a pure funny comic all the time. That might be what he's saying. But between the two roles, come on, man. It's unfortunate we're comparing, but if you got to compare it, I'm gonna go with Smokey's character, because it became something like you said, like Danielle said, we reciting lines from it, and it was the launching pad of somebody's career that became humongous. Chris Tucker became huge, $25 million man. So you tell me. I mean, you put it together, whatever. But Mike Epps is no slouch now. Let's be real. Mike Epps is no slouch in this stuff. He's done dramatic performances that have been fantastic, and comical performances. So he's a beast, when it comes to being an actor. So.
Yeah, great breakdown. I love that analogy that you gave. I think that was such a phenomenal breakdown. So thank you for that, Pierre. Capone, let me bring you in. I've pretty much heard from Danielle. Pierre was trying to jump the gun a little earlier, but let me ask you same question when we're talking about the Friday franchise, and we're looking at the two characters that Chris Tucker played and Mike Epps played. Who would you choose? Who do you think is the most iconic role in the Friday franchise?
I resent the fact that Ice Cube even made that statement. The mere fact of there were two separate parts. He played, Smokey was his friend and Mike Epps was his cousin. So he did great in transitioning the characters to come into, because even though we missed Smokey, we still got the introduction of what him and Mike Epps had did together. And I didn't think it was very necessary to say he was a better comedian and give us that type of mind frame to even think that way. They both did very, very good jobs. I mean, if you look at that, the smallest part of the movie for any Friday franchise, any one of them, was Cat Williams, the most memorable character out of all of them. So you can't compare that. Come on. It's the truth, Pierre.
Come on. Over Smokey?
That's a point.
Over Smokey?
When he didn't have a bigger part than Smokey. He had a very small part.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, everybody's thought I'm a boy, Damon, I'm a boy, and all of that.
Yeah.
You can't. Yeah, it's he did a great job, and look where Cat is at now.
Man.
Oh yeah, Cat did do a great job. Now I ain't gonna say that.
Absolutely. And honestly, like that, the entire franchise, I think everybody in that, it just seems like everybody in that franchise held their ground, held their own. I can recite a lot of things from a lot of characters in that Friday franchise. So they did a great job casting that from top to bottom, like just all the way through. It's a great franchise. But I want to go to commercial break, and when we come back, Danielle is actually going to bring us a new segment called Borderline, where we cover things that's happening around the world across different border lines. She's actually going to be talking about a Black Florida woman who was shot and killed by her white neighbor. We'll be right back right after this.
Culture sounds like shea butter, like kente cloth, like hot sauce, like a hug with two pats and a slide, like pride, like a hair bucket with oils and ribbons and bows, like my forces are all white, but my mama black.
Hey, this is Danielle, and I am bringing you our new segment called Borderline, where we look at stories from different states, different cities, and even across the country. And today we are in the state of Florida with a heartbreaking story of a mother of four who was shot and killed in front of her own children. After a long-standing feud with a neighbor ended with them firing several shots. The victim, a Black woman, and according to CNN, civil rights attorney Ben Crump identified the shooter as a white woman. The dispute was over Owen's children playing outside. CNN says the shooter engaged with Owen's children and threw a pair of skates at them. Owen confronted the shooter, which led to her being shot through the door. No arrest has been made in the case due to Florida's stand your ground law, which allows people to meet force with force. If they believe they or someone else is in danger.
Last Friday around 9 p.m., Ajika A.J. Owens, a mother of four, was shot and killed by an unidentified woman in Ocala, Florida.
After seeing that clip, what do you guys think about it? Pierre, let me come to you first.
It's tragic. It's tragic. But we as Black folks got to understand, there are laws that are just stuff that we don't get into too much. That stand your ground law, that's what Trayvon Martin. We seen what happened with Trayvon Martin, how that Zimmerman guy got away with that. We have to understand that this is what happens there, when you have a stand your ground law. So you got to be careful running into somebody's house, no matter what it is. You go to somebody's house and, at that point, you're on their property. And in Florida, if they feel danger, there's some danger coming, they get to shoot and unfortunately kill you. So I wish definitely the woman, who's so frustrated with the kids, call the police again, or the mother would have done that, instead of walking over there to her property, knocking on that door. Sure, that woman should have never shot through that damn door. But unfortunately, the way the laws are put down there in Florida, it works that way. We don't do that. Black folks don't shoot people like that, but that's not who we are. White folks or other people do. And them people, that white person felt the need, she was threatened. Oh my God, a Black woman, my neighbor. Come on, we know it's beef for a long time. And that was a perfect opportunity to shoot that lady. And she took advantage of it and may get away with it, which is shameful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thanks for that, Pierre. Capone, what about you? What was your reaction to it?
I'm just, I'm a little analytical on things, how when things like this happen, you have a white woman that shoots a Black woman. The stand your ground laws come popping up out of everywhere. And the spokespeople are Black. The officers are Black. They don't even want the white supremacy to get up on the front of the podium and talk. They put us up there and we fall for it. Florida should be closed. Anybody Black should be closed and don't participate in anything Florida has to offer. Disneyland, that racist, devilish island, all of that stuff, man. And they making these laws out of nowhere. Out of nowhere, it just keeps coming. Anything every day you look at something in Florida and you're like, wow, oh man. It's not surprising. So yeah, I'm a little furious about it, but of course, like Pierre said, those are the laws, and they're going to keep going by whatever they can do to keep us from being strong in any part of Florida.
Good points made from both of you. And I completely understand what Pierre is saying. And I also get your frustration because when I look at it, I don't have any kids as yet. But when you think about the fact that this happened in front of her kids, and then on top of that, if I was in her shoes and somebody threw something at my child unprovokingly, I'm going to get upset as well. I don't know exactly how I'm going to react in that moment. You can't say, well, she should have thought before she went on there. When you have your kids, when you have kids and somebody playing around with their kids, and especially because in the report you saw where this has been going on for a while, and she even called the police before on the children, there comes a moment when you just could snap. Now, I'm not saying she went over there in aggression or whatever, but what I'm saying is in that moment, you ain't thinking. You just going over there to deal with the situation at hand. And another thing that I read was in terms of law enforcement, with the stand your ground law, they cannot make an arrest as yet because of the law. So the police have to act in accordance with the law. So they cannot make an arrest. They cannot say who the person is, because then the person is also looked at as a victim. The shooter is looked at as a victim as well. And it's just I completely agree with Capone, Florida. These laws, and Pierre, the laws that Florida have can really be a danger and also a very an asset to people who wish to do grievous harm to somebody else. So those are my thoughts on it.
And since we know Florida's like that, and if you live in Florida, please be mindful. I understand someone's messing with your children and all that kind of stuff. I definitely get that. But look at the result that it could turn into, and a woman can get away. And if you're saying, hey, man, I don't give a damn, if I'm mad, I'm going over to do what the hell I want to do. Okay, well, if you get killed and that person gets away with it, we're back at square one again. Look at your children. So we as Black folks got to be cognizant at times. I get it. But if you want to sit there in the comments and say, I don't give a damn, you do my child, I'm coming off your ass. Okay, come for me and I'm going to blow your brains out and I'm going to get away with it. That's how does this work out? How is it working for the children and stuff? You know what I'm saying? How? So as Black folks, yes, that stand your ground law, it works for us too. If we want to use it, we just aren't that kind of people that use it like that. We'd rather do verbal confrontation. They want to shoot. So just understand that, man. Please, Black folks, in any state that has a stand your ground law, be mindful. I don't care what it is. Try to have the strength to say, hold on, before I go over there with some aggression, they could kill me and get away with it. And I have a family to protect, to take care of. What does that prove after you're murdered? What did it prove? There it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely down with Capone. I tell all my friends that say they want to go to Florida. Florida is a no-go right now. That is a no travel zone. We not going. I don't want no trips to Florida right now. Because I agree, it is absolutely crazy. I want to go around the room really quick. Danielle, great job laying up the story. Definitely a heartfelt one. Danielle, and I'll start with you. Obviously there's a protocol here, right? Because we have the Stand Your Ground law. Once this does go through, do you think she should be arrested for the situation, the white lady that did the shooting?
Off of the mere fact that her door wasn't open. So this woman was outside of your door. And from what I read, she had her 9-year-old son next to her. So I think the woman should be arrested. The door was never open. She was never in your house. She was on your property, but she never was in your house. You had time to pick up that phone and call the police. So I think she should be arrested.
Capone, same question to you. What are your thoughts? Do you think once, protocol is gone through, do you think this lady should be arrested?
Yeah. Just a mere fact, it was premeditated. Like Danielle said, the door was closed. They wasn't arguing, whether it was yelling back and forth or whatever. There's more than, fight. But to shoot a woman with 4 kids, come on, yeah, she should definitely be locked up for a long time.
Pierre, last but not least, same question. What do you think? Do you think she should be arrested?
Of course. She's taking advantage of that law. That's what she's taking advantage of it. It meant if someone's bringing force to you, deadly force to you, right? But you're hiding behind a door. She had time enough to call the police herself and do something about that. So yes, she should, because I don't want it to become normalized where stand your ground law means as soon as somebody does anything or says something to you, you feel like you're threatened, you got to shoot and kill them. We got to stop and say, hold on, unless you see a gun being pulled out on you, about to get you killed, or a baseball bat or something coming at you, then I see that. But just somebody being mad, even at your doorstep, calling you names and stuff, whatever it is, aggression, if they have not come through that door, you can have a chance to call the police. But she's trying to take advantage of, some people try to take advantage of the stand your ground law and say, oh my God, I'm afraid. I got to shoot this person. Fuck her. Lock her up forever.
Absolutely, and I think there should also be an assault added to that, because if I heard correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, Danielle, she also threw a pair of skates at the kids, and I do believe the woman was actually going to retrieve an iPad that the lady did take. So, that's stealing, that's an assault, that's murder. Like there should be charges racked up here, so I couldn't agree with you all more. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we have a small update. DC Young Fly finally responds to the passing of Jackie O, the mother of his 3 children. We'll be right back right after this.
Fridays at 8 on Peachtree TV.
Why do you feel it's so important to support Black-owned businesses?
Some of Atlanta's best Black-owned businesses take center stage.
Whoa!
Black Friday Report.
Okay. Oh!
Only on Atlanta's own Peachtree TV.
And we're back to the Comedy Hype News Show. Now, we've talked about this topic yesterday, but we do have an update. DC Young Fly is finally speaking out after the death of his partner and the mother of his children, Jackie O. In a statement made to People magazine, DC would say, "We thank everyone for their well wishes and ask for privacy during this difficult time." Now, this will be the first time people will hear from DC since the tragic incident. DC's response comes after we've heard the well wishes from other peers. On his Instagram right now, we haven't seen an update from him for about a week. He has not posted anything, but he did share this response with People magazine. Now, Danielle, I'm going to come to you first because we did speak on this a little bit yesterday with Pierre and Capone, and I know you weren't able to join us. So I want to get your reaction when you first heard the news break of, the unfortunate passing of Jackie O. What was your initial reaction to it?
Wow. I think that's what caught everybody, that wow factor. And it made you put a lot of things into perspective. I follow some of the persons that are in our close friends group, and they seem really like a tight-knit family. So it was just like, wow. Honestly, it caught me off guard. And I just wish everybody well that was close to her, all of the family and friends. We're definitely praying for her, for them on this side, because grief is never easy, especially when it comes unexpectedly.
Yeah. And yesterday I was able to talk to Pierre and Capone just about, with comedians, their work is almost also like their therapy sometimes, right? We've seen Nick Cannon, after the passing of his son, continue to work and work and work. So let me ask you, Danielle, I'm pretty sure we've all been in a situation of losing someone close. What do you think DC should do next? Do you think he should, take some time and take a break? Or what are your thoughts around, his next move?
I think he should take some time and take as long as he needs off. The money isn't important. One thing that I did wrong, and I can give a personal reflection of this, I had somebody that was very close to me pass suddenly, and then I recently had my grandmother pass. And in that spare of time, I never stopped working. I kept going. People would ask me, "Are you okay?" "I'm fine." I never used to talk about it. And I sort of have regret now not taking that time out and really grieving and really taking the time to clear my head and all of that, because now it's like sometimes I wake up randomly and I cry because I'm just really just starting to deal with that now. And in life, you have to slow down when things like that happen. You have to. You're not invincible. You're not superwoman or superman. People will completely understand. And guess what? People that can't understand you taking the time out for yourself just to check yourself mentally, then you need to eliminate them from your friend circle.
Yeah, and I'm sorry to hear your, about the passing, and I will make sure to check on you and send love to you as well. I know that's, definitely a hard thing, and grieving has no time limit, right? There's no time frame of, it's going to take this long. Just, I think you said it and Pierre said it yesterday as well, take the time that's needed. I know we talked about this yesterday, but I do want to make sure I at least open up the floor. Pierre, Capone, I'll start with you. If there's anything that you want to add here as we close out for today.
I think I pretty much said all I needed to say yesterday.
Yeah, I agree. I can agree. Pierre, just in case you wanted to add anything here.
Well, it was great from hearing from him. A lot of people wondered his state of mind, where he was going through, what he's thinking. So the fact that he even let his fans know and friends know, hey, let me get some more time. We're grieving through this thing. Let's have some privacy. And just the fact that we know that he seems to be, okay enough to respond is cool. And a lot of people care about him. So, no, but like Capone said, I said what I said yesterday. And it's tragic, man. It's somebody so young, she's 32 years old and a mother too. Whenever that happens, I want to focus on, showing grace and mercy and love to that family and people. And anytime someone loses something like, a person that close to them, show them grace and mercy and not make it about something else.
Yeah, no, I think that's beautifully put. Again, I know we send our condolences and love. I don't think you can send any, too much love or too many prayers. So definitely love and prayers sent to. It's J-Nova. Okay.
Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, no, I think you said it perfectly there. It is good to hear from him. All I've been seeing from his friends as well is DC is a praying man. I have met him before, and just his spirit was always high. So it is good to hear and at least know, he's able to at least communicate to his fans. So I did appreciate that. Again, we're sending our love and condolences to Jackie O's family, to DC Young Fly, and everyone surrounding them. And then also right now, she did have a business as well. J Nova Collection is a lip gloss brand, so we can support that to support her family in the meantime. Buy it up, ladies, buy it up. Men, buy it for your women. Whoever wears lip gloss, you can definitely, support her brand. But as always, I appreciate you all for chiming in on this topic. Before we head out, of course, I'd like to know what you have going on. Mr. Pierre, you ended so beautifully. I know you're going to Charlotte, so I'm gonna start with you. I already know what you have going up, but for anybody that's under a rug, what do you have coming up? And of course,
right, tomorrow night, Comedy Zone, almost sold out. Thank you, everybody who purchased tickets already. I'm hearing it's kind of bubbling around the city. So again, thank you, Charlotte, for supporting me. We about to sell this thing out. It's at the Comedy Zone Wednesday night, 7 p.m. It's June 7th. Like I said, tomorrow. I look forward to bringing some rocking comics in front of me, man. Rocking. I don't bring it on nothing weak. But again, even if they weren't coming, I'm the rocker. Okay. Like I said, I'm gonna hire Capone for me because he does carpentry work and build shit. So I need him after I tear that house down. We need to come back and build it up, brother. So I appreciate it. You get a call from me Thursday. Okay. And if you want to follow me on at Comic Pierre, COMICPIERRE. Again, shout out to all those people in Charlotte, man. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow.
Now, Pierre, Capone was giving you a hard time yesterday because he thought y'all were going to be in the same place, but we actually discovered both of y'all will be in North Carolina, but in different places. Capone, I'm coming to you next.
I'll be at the Comedy Zone in Greensboro.
Okay.
Friday and Saturday. 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday. I ain't sold out yet because I ain't know where I was supposed to be. I think I was promoting Pierre's show.
Well, I
appreciate
the
numbers up. Everybody know I'm going to be there. I'm going to start promoting heavy. Even though we're only a few days away, North Carolina comes out. So Greensboro, I will be at the Comedy Club, definitely Comedy Zone.
And of course, how can people follow you to make sure that they're going to the right club?
Right, yeah, because I ain't gonna lie, I messed up this time. Follow me on Instagram at Comedian Capone. If you cannot spell comedian, please don't follow me. Yes.
Last and certainly not least, with the beautiful view, I do want to say again, thank you, Danielle, for holding it down for the days that I wasn't able to be here. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Miss Danielle, what do you have coming up? And of course, how can people follow you?
Well, of course, Symphony, you're welcome. So what I have coming up is Comedy Hype, and more Comedy Hype every Tuesday. And then, of course, new episodes of Sis. They happen on my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is Danielle, DenielLle. I don't have a comedy show coming up. Maybe one day I'll have like a comedy show. And, I think it could turn into a Netflix special, I think, one day. But you can follow me on Instagram at DEEA Miller.
And not to make the guys jealous, but Danielle did get me these black-owned earrings that I just have to shout out. You know. No, but as always, congratulations to everybody with everything that you have going on. I appreciate doing this with you all, and I look forward to it. You can continue to look out for Borderline every Tuesday, presented by Danielle, right here on Comedy Hype News Show. And as always, you heard from us. Now, we want to hear from you in the comments below. We hit you with a lot of topics, and I just want to know, what are your thoughts? Let us know down below. For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson.
All right, in them comments. Okay, I'm going to be in the hotel tonight looking in them comments.
Do you know the comedy culture? Play Comedy Hype, the game. Out now.